So I want to try something a little different. So I've spent my entire career building industrial companies. And I see a headline that says manufacturing in the US is up by a productivity factor of 5x. So manufacturing's up, but labor hours are down. So how can we have more manufacturing when we have less labor? We're at an inflection point, friends. And that's what I want to talk about today, because when you mix industrial legacy businesses that make real stuff and do real things with this AI productivity tsunami we're in, crazy things happen. And so I've been building industrial companies for years, exited 2, we've got a 3rd in the works, and I'm ready to build something that you don't exit, but that you're exitable whenever you want to. Because we're all gonna exit at some point, but what if we could build something that we don't exit and that just continues on for our legacy? And I think that's where my head is at today, and I want to build something with you guys. So if you are new here or we haven't met, welcome. My name is Andy Smith, and in 2007, I went from being an engineer to an entrepreneur. And I like to say it changed my life forever, because when I left my career job and dabbled my toes in the world of entrepreneurship, where you're not guaranteed a salary, where every day you go out into the wild world to eat what you kill, it's a very different mentality, a very different philosophy, and a very different place to be. And once you taste that world, friends, you have a hard time going back. And so the mission here is to help rebuild American industry, because the tools are changing, infrastructure is changing, the ways we do business is changing. And I want to build a business that we don't exit. And I think that's going to be the fun thing of what we do here, because when you exit a business, you oftentimes have to go relearn your identity. I had to do that. You have to figure out, what are you really good at? What do you love? And what are you going to fill your time with when that void is over? Conversely, I found that when you are building a business around the people who you love and respect and trust, and you align around a big purpose, ours being to help others rebuild American industry so that they don't get wiped out by this AI productivity tsunami, and you help put in the process, so people, purpose, process, can really do some cool stuff. And that's what this is all about. So this is the mission. And I'm excited about it. And I hope you will join us on this mission, because if we can help change the world one person at a time, I like to say that's infinite impact. And so that changing the world could be an employee in your business. It could be a customer that you help. It could be a fellow owner who learned something from each of us in our journey as well. And so welcome to the mission of helping rebuild American industry. But my journey started much different. So back in 2002, I became an engineer. School, education, great. And had a chance to work at a nuclear power plant. Wonderful people, love the education, love the learning system. But I realized it wasn't for me. So found a job with a Belgian company in Atlanta, and that became my entrepreneurship training ground for the next 5 or 6 years. And it was awesome. And the main theme for me throughout that journey was iron truly sharpens iron, because we learn from others. And so just got back from a trip to Europe and was recalling all of the wonderful people that I met along the journey. People who were operating in a company, but were true examples of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs who are being entrepreneurial, but inside of a company. And those people helped shape who I was, because we were trying to take a product, a technical product, into industrial markets. But we had to figure out who needed the product, what were the advantages, how much do we price it for, how do we target those customers. We had to do everything around attract, nurture, convert, and then deliver and scale the business. And that was my early training ground for entrepreneurship, and it was amazing. And I met some amazing, talented people who really took me under my wing and helped me as a very young, budding entrepreneur, still engineer, learn the ropes. And that was awesome. And I'm so appreciative to those people, because when I stepped out in entrepreneurship in 2007, you are never ready. I had small kids, we had mouths to feed, and everything that we thought was going to go well went wrong. And so you have to be able to have the right mindset and resourcefulness, the two big things of entrepreneurship, to really succeed. especially in industrial sectors. Industrial sectors take time. Innovative and emerging products take time to get to market. You could be too early. You could be right ahead of a regulation. You could be right at the right time where you're scaling. We've been through all those phases. And so what we're building today, Create Industries, is our platform, our ecosystem to help rebuild American industry. Because right now, the fear is if we do not rebuild American industry, it will get swept away by innovation, emerging tools, and the innovators, the entrepreneurs, the founders who are out doing really cool, innovative stuff and are going to disrupt. But we can help that. And we can help the generation of legacy businesses that help build this great country we live in, this great world that we operate in. We can help those businesses not only survive this AI productivity tsunami, but I believe thrive if we do it right. And that is our mission, that is our purpose, that is our why around everything that we're building, everything we're doing, everything we're hunkering our mission around right here and now. So through this journey of entrepreneurship, industrial businesses, I've had the opportunity to build a company to an exit. That was exit number one. Acquire a company, take it to an exit. We'll talk about that in a second. Interesting experience. And right now we're preparing for an exit for a stealth company that we've been building for the last 18 months. Shows you the power of AI and what it can do in this new world we live in and how it can bridge legacy all the way to new school tool, and you could do some cool stuff. But what we're building with Create Industries is not meant to be exited. It's meant to be thriving, legacy, generational, so that we can continue to make impact. And it becomes a platform and ecosystem for helping modernize industry, helping rebuild American industry. And I'm super excited about that. When we got in and started our first business in 2007, I had a wonderful co-founder, and I didn't know at the time how complementary we were, but it was our superpowers, how complementary we were, and how we each covered each other's blind spots, pushed each other to make each other stronger, iron sharpening iron, and really held each other accountable. And that's the reason we had ultimately a success. Because we had 2 years of pretty hard times where we had revenue, but not a lot to be able to feed ourselves. Because our goal when we started that business was simply to pay ourselves a salary. We wanted to start a business that we could pay ourselves a salary, had no idea you could exit a business, no idea you could grow it to find freedom, didn't know any of that. So in year 2, we started to get a little bit of momentum. We were providing products for the industrial oil and gas market, for clean energy, emission control, and we started to get a little bit into the oil and gas niche, upstream oil and gas, where we had explosive growth in year 3, 4, and 5. And we had to manage scaling a business that ultimately 3x from 0 to 3 million, 3 million to 10 million, and ultimately 10 million to 26 million before we exited a second time. And it is a challenge. It is a uncertain place to go from 0 to 1. It's an uncertain thing to go from 1 to 3. And it's a super hard thing to go from 3 to 10 and 10 and beyond, because they each require different skill sets, each require different processes, each require different personnel, employees, all the things that come into building the business. And frankly, in entrepreneurship, we go from 0 to 1, we go from 1 to 3, and then 3 to 10 is our scale phase, right? Attract, nurture, convert, and deliver, get you to that 1, maybe get you to that 3, but then when you go to scale, that's the next phase, the fifth thing in the equation. And so we ended up exited that company to a $26 million exit to private equity. Hoorah. Stayed on and worked for them for 4 years, learned that world. Great people, great experience, great education for me to work in a private equity backed business and to learn how that goes. Left that, and then we acquired an oil field service business in 2017. And we did a few things right and a few things wrong. We were able to grow revenue by 4x, but it required capital to grow. It required us to build a fabrication facility. It required us to hire teams. It required us to do a lot of things that could help facilitate a very fast, rapid growth. Good or bad, I don't know, but it was a great experience to figure that out. And then in 2020, oil went negative. I don't know if you remember 2020 COVID time, oil goes negative. We didn't think we had the infrastructure to be able to continue to operate in that environment. And so we ended up exiting to a strategic buyer who needed the technology that we had built, and we're happy to acquire that. So win-win on all sides. And then in 2020, from then on, we have been figuring out this bridge between AI, new school tools, innovation, machine learning, LLMs, all the talk of the day, and how do we help bridge legacy industries to modernize in order to stay relevant, in order to stay high functioning and growth in today's world. And so my encouragement to you founders is be open-minded to change, be open-minded to innovation, be open-minded to acceleration, because the way that we built businesses 20, 25 years ago when I got started is much different today. And if we can take that mentality of today's tools into yesteryear's foundational beliefs, I think we have a real win. And that's, my friends, what we are striving to do today on this mission and why we love this so much. So I mentioned we're building something that we do not intend to exit. Why are we doing that? Because I think when we can create something that is bigger than ourselves, we have created something that can leave lasting impact for future generations. And all we need to do is spin up that early traction, that early vision, that early purpose, and hopefully others will grab it and take onto it. So that's what we're striving to do with Create Industries. It is our industrial platform, our ability to help rebuild American industry, our ability to help, our mechanism to help modernize industry, the things that we love. And so that's what we're doing. We go into plants, we help them modernize, we help them keep their infrastructure running. Because here's the thing, facilities, factories, manufacturing shops, they build real things that impact this world, that when we go outside these doors, gives us the ability to live the life we live in our first world country of the United States, or as I was traveling Europe, just the technology innovation that you see there, which is oftentimes superior to here. So there are things that are ahead in Europe, there are things that are ahead in the US, but there is a constant push to modernize, industrialize, and nowadays automate the world that we live in. And so there's a lot of opportunity. So Create Industries is that platform. Our world has been around flares, thermal oxidizers, things that clean up waste gas. So think about your facility, your plant, your factory has byproducts of the process, and regulations, stewardship, environmental compliance might require that you clean those things up, those byproducts, whether that's vented methane from an oil field, whether that is dirty air in a factory. The equipment that does that, the emission control equipment, that's what we do. That's what our platform is. Building buildings, building electrical infrastructure, building architecture, engineering, to design, to fabrication, to installation, and then to service. That's what this platform is all about. And I think for each of us, as we go through life, we will find the lane that fits us best. This lane particularly fits me well. I love the role that I'm able to play in it, and I love the people that are able to complement modernizing what we're doing in our company, but also helping us do that for customers, because it takes a village. I do not believe in solo entrepreneurship. I believe entrepreneurship, business building, is a team sport, and we've got to get the right people around us. People, process, purpose. I will learn that from a good dude who taught me that, and I will forever hold that front and center. Is that how we build businesses? There's a process to building a business: attract, nurture, convert, deliver, scale up. But we do that around people, purpose, process. And Create Industries is that ecosystem. And we've tried different businesses in the past. Some have taken off. Some, I believe, are still too early. Some have been colossal dumpster fires, mostly due to us. Some have done well because of the right people. Some have done bad because of the wrong people. Just a whole mix of things. But all of that accumulates into 25 years of experience, where our team can rightfully say we've got 100 years of collective experience, a century of doing this. When you bring those superpowers together it unlocks magic. And that's what Create Industry was built upon. That's why we are excited to build that here. And the reason why we say we don't necessarily want to exit it is because this is what we love to do. And when you can build a strong foundation and then bring other people in to keep the traction, momentum, acceleration going, I don't think we have to sell a business to make impact. I think we could be a part of something that creates generational impact if we just get started. So think about some of the best brands in the market today. I think we can do the same on the industrial side. So it's a big flag, it's a big purpose, it's a big why, but it's also a real challenge to put this puzzle together. So why now, why this current time? I think we live in unprecedented time with AI on one hand and this silver tsunami on the other hand. So think of these two things meshing. Silver tsunami, so think aging legacy business owners getting ready to retire, and the number is enormous. I don't even remember off the top of my head, but it's an enormous amount of business owners and wealth that will be transferred and is retiring in the coming years. They call that the silver tsunami. Now, on the other hand, think about this. We're in an AI productivity tsunami. Technology, innovation, AI is coming in and mixing everything up, how we did things. And you got this silver tsunami over here of legacy businesses colliding at once. That is the intersection that we play in. That is the intersection that I believe we can make a real difference in, because we, on the one hand, have the right people, the technologists, the expertise to disrupt, create, or recreate industries and businesses. Now, I didn't know any of this existed. To be honest, I still am learning all the different tricks and tools and abilities of AI. Thankfully, we have the right tech people around us and inside our ecosystem. But when it got on my radar was several years ago, we acquired a technology that was innovative. It had taken a manual industrial process at a mining facility and it automated it through camera technology. Then we used machine learning and AI to enhance that, to train the data, to train the AI on what's happening. So now you can completely eliminate a manual process. Now, does that mean you eliminate people? No. That means the people are now empowered to do their real job, to do more, to do what they love, to do the lane, their superpower zone with technology enablement. And when I saw that happen, and I looked over my left shoulder and saw all the businesses that needed modernization, needed innovation, needed AIing, right? I saw an opportunity to lead that cause. And so we put the brand label around that called Create Industries, because we want to help create and also recreate businesses, industries around modernization, around rebuilding American industry, around helping people who do real things and build real stuff so that we can go out and use those real things, those infrastructures, help them stay competitive in tomorrow's landscape. Not today's landscape, but tomorrow's landscape. And so why now is because we are at a critical intersection, a critical junction where we must act fast, because I think the knowledge gap between AI users and non-AI users is getting bigger every second. I think AI is accelerating how it does things and the capability that it has. And if we're not in it right now, in the early days, we are going to be late, and we're therefore going to not survive, not thrive, which is what we want to help those people do. So I mentioned the key pillars being people, process, purpose. People, purpose, process, right? And inside the ecosystem, the Create Industries platform that we're building, people is a major component. I mentioned we've got 100 years of combined experience in a certain vertical. And so what are the main pillars that we have inside our company? First of all, I think if you are building any business right now and do not have subject matter experts who have deep industry experience and knowledge in your business, that's a major fail. So first of all, to do anything successfully, you've got to be able to deliver. To deliver, you've got to have the right subject matter experts, people who are deeply entrenched in the industry sector that you're operating in, people who are deeply entrenched in the knowledge of delivering excellence. Delivering, I learned 7-star customer service. When there was only 5 stars, you go above and beyond. So we strive for that every single day. And of course we mess up all the time, but then we hope to be able to fix it. If you don't have the second pillar, which is your attract, nurture, convert ninjas on your team, you'll never be able to deliver anything. So we've got a pillar of strategic, just subject matter experts who know the stuff, can deliver. We've got a pillar of people who are excellent at attracting, nurturing, converting the clients. If we can't do that, we can never deliver. So that's pillar number 2. Pillar number 3 in today's world is our process. That is an AI enablement powered team. So AI technologists who are able to come in and help us make sure that we have the processes to enable us to go fast, quote fast, operate fast, be quick, be nimble, process, systematize everything. Because if you don't have that in your business, it's a heavy lift. So if you're building a business right now and you one day do want to exit that business, or you don't want to exit that business, making sure you have systematized it so that you can scale is imperative. Because when we went from 3 to 10, that phase, whatever that is in your business from a revenue perspective, we went from 3 to 10. For us, it was revenue, 3 to 10 million. You go through so many hard things that if you don't have the systems built early on, the foundational systems built, then my friends, it is dang hard. So how do you do that these days? Through technology innovation, which is called AI. You can put it into every piece of your business and just watch how it accelerates and amplifies everything. Right now, I'm talking to you on a video. We have our systems built to make and take all of the customer intel knowledge in hand A, all of our subject matter expert experience in hand B, put those together to create proposals fast. If we can't do that, we can't move fast. Now, does AI replace people? Absolutely not right now. And the things we're doing, it enables us to go faster. It does enable us to build with less people from the scratch, but you still need those core pillars. So what are they again? Strategic subject matter experts who know how to deliver. Attract, nurture, convert ninjas who know how to get the people in the funnel, in the pipeline. Then you need AI technologists to come in and make sure you've got the most efficient processes inside your business. That's what we're building. My role in this whole thing is to align the golden thread. Make sure that each function understands, empowers, and accelerates every other function. Truly iron sharpening iron. And it is amazing, it is fun, it is exciting. And it is a puzzle to be put together, which is not very easy. All right, friends, this has been fun. If I'm gonna leave you with one thing, pick your suppliers, pick your partners, pick your people who you do business with, pick the ones who are fast, nimble, and know what they're doing. Why did we have early success in venture number 1? Because we were quick to answer the phone, we were innovative in our sector and our industry, and we were full of subject matter experts who could answer the questions. So be easy to do business with. That's a core pillar. Be knowledgeable, answer the phone, take the call. You wouldn't believe how many suppliers we try to reach out to because we order a bunch of stuff. Our systems are just packaged goods of other people's things and other manufacturers' stuff. How many people we reach out to who don't answer the phone, don't respond to the email, don't know how to stay relevant in this rapidly changing game? Friends, it's an interesting time to be building businesses. It's an interesting time to be modernizing industry. It's a wonderful time to be helping others rebuild American industry, and that's what we are really striving to do as we launch a business. We've already got traction, so it's good, so it's not launched. But as we grow a business, that we are not looking to sell around people who are sharpening us every single day, pushing us every single day, and growing with us every single day. And I think that, my friends, is how we make infinite impact and how we keep our pillars, my pillars being faith, family, fitness, and freedom, alive, and allows us to maybe enjoy this journey that we're on instead of it being a struggle bus every single day. Friends, look forward to this. It's gonna be fun. Andy Smith, if you've enjoyed this, thank you for being here. And yeah, let's root for each other, friends.